You're flying from New York to Amsterdam on the 15th of February. Should I bring you boxes of candy or chips? I think honestly, most things that I love in America we can buy here as well. I would say bring me some Buffalo Wild Wings, but I don't think they're going to be that good anymore by the time that you arrive. So I appreciate the offer, but I should be good. You can bring me a bottle of spicy garlic sauce, so I can have my own spicy garlic wings. Alright, the game is all ready. Is this map better for Zergs or Protoss? I think this is a slightly better map for Protoss. Even though it can be hard to not take damage from run-bys and there are some things to worry about. But if MaxPax can stabilize on 4 bases, with Tempest you can take control of the center of the map. And Serral has already struggled a few times against Max, against the other Max, that is Max Angel, where this can just become very hard. If MaxPax gets up to a whole bunch of Tempest, takes control of the middle, this can be hard for any Zerg, including Serral. Let's do it, guys. For the 4th time in 12 days, it is MaxPax versus Serral. Current map score 7-7. Best of 5 scores 2-0 in favor of this man. But this man won a best of 7, and that was the most important one of them all. So it is a pick-em match. Let's pick 'em as they come. Let's do it.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight!
Here we go. In the top right side, we're looking at the main base of PSISTORM Gaming's very own MaxPax. And in the bottom left side, probably thinking, here we go again. Ay, ay, ay. Representing BASILISK, the Finnish phenom, the champ of Masters Coliseum 8, 7, and 6. Don't know if he won a LiuLi Cup though. I think this is only the 2nd edition of the LiuLi Cup, and the first one he didn't play. This is Serral. More Serral vs Max than Clem vs Max for the timeline. I don't think that will stay, especially now that the Monday night weeklies are back. And we did have Clam Max last Monday too. I didn't know that tomorrow there's no LiuLi Cup action, by the way. Honestly, I'm kind of happy about that, even though the tournament is obviously mega fun, but the games will still happen. It'll just happen on Saturday. And it's good for me, because I obviously have the big brain bouts on the Friday night. And as much as I love casting StarCraft, I do notice that if I have like 2 events on one day, eventually you just start losing some energy, right? It's impossible to keep it all up by yourself for 8, 9, 10 hours straight. So I'm happy that tomorrow I can just start a little bit later, play a couple ladder games, and then get ready for the big brain bouts. Oh, they are playing 2 games? This is just lower bracket. Right. Well, then ignore my speech. That means I'm working overtime again. One day it's gonna be worth it. That's annoying. That's not annoying, but whatever. We'll take a break. We'll do 2 streams tomorrow. We'll do a stream in the early morning, take a break, and then come back at like 5 p.m. for the big brain bouts. And tomorrow, big brain bouts, quite hype. It is an excellent lineup. There's a TVT as well. Since people were saying that there's not enough TVT in the big brain bouts, we got a TVT. That's a good TV show or movie you've seen. I watched White Boy Rick yesterday or 2 days ago on... yesterday night I watched the movie with Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx, which is kind of cool. It's a bit of a comedy, but I still like it, because I think Cameron Diaz is awesome. I think he's very good in acting. I love Cameron Diaz. I love Jamie Foxx as well. And the day before I watched White Boy Rick, and I actually thought that was a really cool movie. I recommend it. White Boy Rick is cool. I really love that little kid that knocks on his door. He's like, yo, it's time to man up. Got a baby mama. Go visit the baby mama. It's a cool story. It's obviously very sad in a way as well. But cool, good movie. American Prime on Netflix is awesome. I don't know what that is, so I have to look it up. Alright guys, it is Oracle into Oracle for MaxPax. MaxPax is probably going to switch it up a little bit throughout the series. We'll see some Void Ray for us. We'll see Oracle into Void. Maybe he'll do something weird with double Stargate early on. But throughout the majority of the games, expect Oracle openings with Blink Stalker follow-ups. Max is confident in that. And these games obviously are played on the European server, so there is no ping to worry about. And both of them can micro to the best of their abilities. No, Helio, I have no idea what that is. MaxPax activates Pulsar Beam, gets 2 drones, nice pull by Serral. Love the triangle defense here of the Queens. A little Illuminati going on. Now it makes sense why he's been winning so much for so long. Hello, Infinson. Not sure what to expect, guys. By the way, I have a bug in my Twitch chat. It just kind of shows me the prediction. It doesn't tell me what you guys are voting for. It is stuck. What did you guys end up voting for? Is it like 65% Serral? Because that is what it was throughout most of the series. 65-35? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. Exactly. I cannot see it. It's blocked. That is basically what people were voting for in the previous 3 encounters. So exactly. I mean, I think it's fair. I think it makes sense. I don't think that's wrong. Might be a tiny bit closer than that, but I think it's alright. I have peace with it. I mean, there's not too many moments where I think the channel point predictions are mega wrong. A slow start to game 1 of this upper bracket semifinals best of 5. Now earlier we had 2 series where Tournament Live was on the line. We said goodbye to Gumio, we said goodbye to Dark, who played a lot of off race. Only 1 game of Zerg, 3 games with Protoss. These guys, they'll have another shot. But it doesn't mean it's not important, because the playoffs obviously are stacked. You still have Reynor in that lower bracket, Clem is in the tournament. So nobody wants to drop to that lower bracket. Thank you to Amber Bond for the 129 months. Craft 7, why Chris? Amber Bond was easier, mate. Incredibly long time. I really appreciate it, amigo. I'm happy that you're still enjoying StarCraft after all these years. MaxPax is starting to apply some pressure, but we don't have a proxy gate. Serral is going to try to distract him with links. Oracles are starting to drop some stasis trappies. Max is getting a lot of shots up on this hatchery. Serral is trying to buy some time for the Hydras to come out, but Max's timing seems to be very sharp. Links are coming in. 1 stasis trappy still alive. That one gets activated too. Good job by Serral. Guys, that hatch is low. It's such a fine line, right? Between like, can the Stalkers commit? Can they get that big volley off? Or do they then get punished? Will the Links get us around? Will the Hydras make the difference? That is a great catch by Serral. That is an excellent catch. Despite all the stasis trappies, maybe Serral did not quite expect that final stasis trap here on the low ground. Max is sitting on 1,000 minerals. Many times, Mr. Worldpeace. Like 4, 5, 6 times. I forgot I have to increase the prices of some of these things. You guys are exploiting me. You guys are too rich. I've been streaming too much, so everybody has too many points. I need to up the ante. Max continues to flirt with that hatchery, but he can't quite commit. If he does get it, but he ends up losing 8 stalkers, it is obviously not worth it. He's trying to go up to 4 bases while this is happening. Serral has split off a few Lings, a few Hydras, and Zello charge is not quite done yet, so I think MaxPax needs a couple stalkers here. Ooh, if Serral gets a cancel, and with the extra Link showing up, Serral will get a cancel, but will that then allow MaxPax to take a good fight in the bottom? Max should go here, no? I think this was MaxPax's moment to maybe go for that hatchery. Kill a couple Links, kill a couple Hydras. With this many units being on the top side of the map for Serral and this many units being stuck in a stasis, I think this was MaxPax's moment to battle those 4 remaining Hydras, a couple of Links, a couple of Queens. Did not go for it. Is Roddy by the beer too? That depends how much I like you. But in general, mate, I am a very generous man to go to a bar with, so you should be okay. Vipers already out for Serral, so very early Vipers this time. A tiny bit surprising, right, that he has gone for Vipers that early against this build of MaxPax. Almost gives me the feeling that he was worried about a couple of Colossus showing up, but it's not like Serral to really have misreads. We can drop Blinding Clouds, that is always nice. MaxPax needs to be very careful here because he's storming quite a bit, and the moment he runs out of storm, his army is going to be very weak. But he still has the confidence to blink forward. Now we have a little attack of Zealots and High Templars. Just High Templars by themselves. One of them dies, the other two live. I mean, these guys are nuts. They're both so good. They are both so good, but it is MaxPax who will at least finally... Oh, that's a kill even. That is a kill. Couple big storms as well. And morphs them into an Archon. Monstrous moments here, guys. For the Prince of Denmark. Kills the hatchery, lands big storms. We'll end up losing these units here in the end, but... he's gonna be very happy with that. What is the lurker count? 10. 10 lurkers. The seismic spines, the range upgrade for the lurkers is done. Adaptive talents is on the way. Max now getting his second Stargate. He's gonna go probably quite heavy on the Tempest. The other day, when these two guys started their best of 7 on Abyssal Reef, it turned into a 51-minute game. Now, I don't think Amygdala can ever give us a 51-minute game. They can definitely give us a long game. Max is looking sharp here so far, man. He's played a dangerous game, but I am actually incredibly impressed with how MaxPax is playing here. Blinks forward, stays strapped everywhere, lands the double feedback. Holy smokes. The Prince is coming out guns blazing. And I think Serral is in a problematic spot, because right now Serral has no answer for these Tempests, unless he lands a feedback, lands an Abduct, and he kills it with the Hydras. But the Spire is late. I think MaxPax is playing really good. The army splits are so good as well. He's so confident. Serral is going to try to find a victory somewhere. Nice splits by Serral, but the Storm still connected with a lot of links. Not much he can do about that. MaxPax now bringing over his main army. Max probably sizing this up, saying this is clearly not everything. Serral gets an Archon, but how much protection do we have? Observer, and one Oracle. Stalker had control of the Zelnaga Watchtower. MaxPax now has the Mothership here. He could drop a Time Warp, he could drop some Storms. Don't storm your own units. Big fight happening as well on the bottom right side. MaxPax jumps on top of all the lurkers, but he struggles a little. That was not quite a fight. The Blinding Cloud really messed him up there, and Serral finds his biggest victory in a while. Amazing fight there for those lurkers. MaxPax thought he saw an opportunity to jump on them, but the Blinding Cloud completely turns that fight around. That was a nice win for Serral, but he also absolutely needed that. Serral definitely not there yet. Still so hard to attack into these Tempests. But the Hydra count now is 25. First Corruptors on the way for the Finnish Phenom. As the Great Aspire is now on the production tab as well. I'm not sure what Great Aspire is going to do for us against double Stargate Tempest, but okay. MaxPax finds a much better fight in the top left side. Mothership doing its thing. And these two guys are so silly good at StarCraft. Huh. No, Skillis won, Etty. Skillis won the previous series. Is this the Nordic Derby? I believe people from Denmark, they often say that they're not a part of, like, I don't know if they're part of Scandinavia or they're not Nordic, whatever, but I think we can call it a nice Nordic Derby. A battle for the King of the North. Or is it Finland that's not a part of it? Whatever. I think it's all part of Scandinavia. Those 4 countries and Iceland. They all have similar flags too. Corruptors are trying to get some Tempest, but it is already becoming hard now. Even the Abducts don't really make all the difference. This is actually a strong army here for Max, and Serral has just unburrowed his lurkers. That is a bad moment for Yona to unburrow his lurkers, but the Spore Crawlers might kill the Observers. One Observer dies. Surprised that Max didn't want to fight there. Honestly, I like the possibilities there of the Protoss army. MaxPax can, of course, recall this entire army from the bottom right towards this squad. And then it's so hard for Serral, because both armies have potential against one another, but it often comes down to who needs to run into the other guy. So it's a battle of positioning, but if you have not one but two recalls, you can definitely catch your opponent off guard. The Corruptors do make the Zorg army a bit more powerful. Very early storm there by Max. That one was not totally needed. Revelation lands on all of the Zorg units. Tempest gunning down some Overseers. Units lost. Resource tab shows us that Serral has lost a little bit more than Max. I think Max has played a stunning game. Obviously this fight here was a bit of a disaster, where the Blinding Cloud messed him up, but outside of that, it really does feel that MaxPax played about as good as we could possibly hope for, as we could ask of any Protoss. Serral now gets the Ultralisk Cavern as well. One Observer dies. Probably not the best moment to go forward with the Observer when you only have a single Archon backing it up. Roddy's chat is better than Google. I should get a shirt. My chat knows more than Google. I don't even use Google anymore, I just ask my chat. Stasis traps everywhere. A lot of people have been vocal about it. How frustrating this even just looks to play against. Can't imagine how annoying it actually is. Here we go, big Rico into the center of the map. And these are the moments, guys, why I said in the beginning of the game that I do like this as a Protoss map if you're as good as MaxPax. Because I don't see how Serral gets value out of the center base. Tempest are simply too good here. Nice fungal though. Serral has been working on his spellcasting. You know, he's been a goat and everything forever. Little lurker run by, he's gonna burrow it in cute spots. I don't think MaxPax sees that, doesn't see any of them, very annoying. Max has also learned from the past, by the way, guys, with a million Tempest, he is gonna get the Tectonic Destabilizers. AKA, Tempest now shoot orange balls and deal a lot of damage to buildings. Yeah, it's also been hard, right, for Serral to think about taking bottom right, because MaxPax often has an army here. It's very hard to take top left, because MaxPax has an army here. It is... What are we recalling? Okay. Because of the recalls, it's so difficult for Serral to take one of those bases, so he basically has no choice other than taking this one. But this is so hard to defend if the Protoss army takes control of the center. Hold position lurker, by the way. Kinda cute.
Storm forces under attack, assaulting drones.
Two Zealots do deny a drone from trying to become a hatchery in the bottom right. I think Serral will activate this lurker as soon as, well, I want to say they're battling, but MaxPax, of course, has observers with his main army. Do we have a mothership recall available? Yes, the recall is available on the mothership. So MaxPax is going to show his big army. It gets fungoed, and if I was Max, I would recall this immediately to the mothership, and that is what he does. And now he's actually once more in the center. He can almost one-shot that hatchery. This could be a game-deciding fight. Yes, they have big banks. I mean, what do you do here? Serral is wondering, how can he jump on this army? How does he engage this? We are waiting for a lot of big upgrades to come online. +3 melee. Ultralisk speed. Few lurkers and hydras will deny the bottom right side base. Yeah, if we're on the exact same amount of bases, but Max can enjoy the gold and Serral cannot. Max is obviously going to get richer. The cannon count has gone up. 19 minutes into Amygdala. It looks dangerous for Serral. It looks difficult, but maybe Serral can lend the fungals. This might be the moment that Serral wants to go for it. Fungals are down. I would love a parasitic bomb as well. Storms are landing. Great fight by Serral, I think, in the beginning. But the Corruptors are just melting. Archons and Storms doing their thing. I felt like that was about as good of a jump as any. And it didn't do a lot for him. MaxPax attacking. It wouldn't hurt MaxPax, by the way, to put observers in surveillance mode sometimes. Just like on the edge of creep, so they don't fly forward. It is obviously something you have to change again later on. And Serral is now starting to lose out on the sports, and Spines here might go for another jump on this army. No energy on the Viper. Storms are landing. Can the Archons get a couple of good shots off? Because Serral will rebuild a lot of Corruptors. But the Tempest and the Mothership are just running towards the cannons. Here now are the Stalkers. The Stalkers should be able to save the day. Mothership does die, but we can't say that it was for nothing. And I think Max is kind of running away with this. It is another Amygdala classic, but MaxPax can enjoy the center base, and Serral, well, has moments that he's able to enjoy it. But not often, and now Max is even going to get the bottom right. Oh yeah. I don't know what Serral's supposed to do here. This is not the first time that we see a game play out like this. I mentioned it before we even hopped into the first game. Serral is probably hoping for a great catch, a great fungal, parabomb, better upgrades on the Corruptors, and win a fight in the center of the map. To me, it seems a little bit unlikely. Fungal lands on the Oracle. The Oracle does die in the end, but you know, this is not even MaxPax's entire army, and he's not really in trouble. Got a lot of units here in the center. Lurker count is 11. I'd like to say that I think MaxPax's army here is strong enough, besides to disengage against those 5 Lurkers. I'm not certain if the Archon Stalker Zealot army really needs to be the one that's here. Kinda say that this is where you want your Tempest, right? Serral is now gonna try to also harass the gold of Max a little. A couple shots off. Now MaxPax basically has an immediate surround on his army. Nice dodge on the fungal with the Stalkers, well done. Spellcaster count 5 Infestors is 0 Vipers. And Lynx will get obliterated in the top left. Serral has lost around 8,000 resources more, and it's MaxPax who has been mining more money for the vast majority of the last 4 minutes. A 22-minute game on the Amygdala. We're getting more Stargates. This base is pretty much dried out, but there's still some gas left to be mined, 800 or so in total. MaxPax has a pretty big army, blinks forward, gets on top of the Lurkers, is going to crack open this area. Could obviously recall this army out if he feels like it's necessary, lends another storm. I wouldn't hate a recall towards the Mothership. Serral kills an observer. Serral continues to be a bit annoying in the center. I am surprised that MaxPax is giving the army this much respect. Kinda feel like he would have been able to take a pretty good fight against it, but Max probably feels that time is on his side. He's got a corner base now. Serral does not. Tempest have a range on everything in the Zerg army. So I don't think Max is too eager on really forcing an all-out fight, a proper brawl in the center. Let's take it one volley at a time. Yeah. I am a Protoss. And I'm a lover of Max, but I can definitely understand Zerg frustrations and anger looking at this, and it's just like, man, this seems so annoying to play against. But if you look at it from the other side, it's just really hard to kill a Zerg, right? It goes 2 ways, and if any of these guys was even like 10% less good than what they actually are, games wouldn't look like this. And it would have been easy for one of them to find a great fight somewhere. Max could land some feedbacks. This is a big moment, but it's also a sick fungal. Parasitic Bomb wouldn't hurt here in the middle of all these Tempests. The Serral catches this army, and he's actually going to wipe the floor with most of it. Corruptors definitely did take a bit of a beating. Nice fight by Serral. Max has money to rebuild. If Tempests are that clumped up, like Fungal and Parabomb does really hurt Tempest. Parasitic Bomb may not do that much against carriers, outside of the Loco maneuver obviously, but against Tempest it does hurt, man. Fungal and Parasitic Bomb makes the Tempest melt. Resources lost now, still 8,000 in favor of MaxPax. Maybe fungal damage needs to go up a smidge. Woo! We're entering hot take territory over here. They're talking about Zerg buffs, guys. Oh, shield upgrades would absolutely be worth it, especially because he's got so many Archons. I think he's just kind of forgetting about it. I think he will eventually get to it. But Max could absolutely get some shield upgrades. And yeah, it is actually Serral is going to kill the gold. And Max can obviously survive this. Tempest do get a Broodlord. We'll get another Broodlord. Whoever made this map absolutely loves Tempest. Tell you that much. Ooh. By cancelling the Nexus, it's a slow warp in. So this is actually a great little circling attack by Serral. It would have been better for Max to leave that Nexus alive just a little bit longer. Because now he loses everything here. The 14 most brave Zerglings that the Zerg has ever seen. Boosting the air armor over the actual shields, but air units also benefit from the shield upgrades. So. Max is really trying to go full Neep over here by trying to get a little cannon battery set up in the center of the map. I think these two guys are just low-key becoming great friends. Like, I want to spend more time with you. You hang up. No, you hang up. I'm gonna GG, okay? Yeah, you GG first. Now they just want to spend a lot of time with one another. It is their 4th long series in 12 days, and you know, they just grew very fond of one another. Any moment that they spend with each other is a moment they'll cherish. They don't want to close their eyes. They definitely don't want to say goodbyes, and they'll be missing each other. It is still going in favor of Max, if you ask me, but Serral's obviously doing about as well as he could, and he is hoping for one more magical fight with some great fungals and Parabomb. A carrier. I think Serral saw that carrier. Yep, Serral wants it. He's gonna land an abduct. No, not even needed. Are carriers even worth it? No cancel on the hatchery over here in the top left. I don't know. I would almost say just get more Archon, Storms, and Tempest. Can't believe that I'm the one saying that. I've been the #1 lover of carriers for like over a decade, but these days, especially when the corruptors have stick upgrades, I don't really believe in the carrier. Skilla says carriers are not worth it. Congrats, Nikita. Great series, mate. I hope you know that I was so eager to talk to you about losing to Mech. I'm always rooting for you. You know that. I love you, but I wanted to see that Mech victory over Nikita. It wasn't meant to be. Couple big feedbacks land. Parasitic Bomb, but Serral fighting over all these cannons. Eating this many storms. I mean, obviously the Neuroparasite was good, but this is like only a small portion of MaxPax's army. Not bad though on the side of Serral, that much is certain, but now his army is relatively low in HP. All the extra stalkers have been warped in. They blink forward. They get a couple of Broodlords. Max really wants to punish Serral for taking that fight, but so far Serral is handling this to perfection. But the storms hurt so bad. Extra lurkers show up, and the ground army of Max is gonna have to disengage. Amazing moment by Serral, and look at the units lost resource tab now. That 8,000 difference has turned into only a 1,000 difference. Well, 2k. But amazing fights by Serral there. Ever since MaxPax started producing carriers, it's kind of gone downhill. Now the Broodlords are getting a good fight, and for the first time in forever, I'm starting to have the feeling that Serral's in a good spot. But I also think Serral is going to be mega broke soon. MaxPax still has money. MaxPax can make Tempest for days, but he's now warping in Zealots. I have a hard time believing that that is what his sweet baby dreams are made out of. Going for this base is a tiny bit of an odd choice to me. There isn't really a whole lot to gain here. Couple drones are burrowed. I think maybe the observer sees it. I'm gonna have to recall this army out, mate. He doesn't have a mothership yet. Does he have Nexus recall? Yes. I guess Max is still winning because he has the corner base. And Serral's army is kind of brutalized. It has taken a lot of storms. It's definitely not full HP yet. Serral is making this really close. And Serral's got 160 army supply. Single storm here is good. The second one so. In the end, Serral will get that High Templar, will get all the Zealots. And I think for Max, it's maybe time to give up on this base. Let's let Yona have it. Take control of the center. Nox says Serral is ahead by a lot. He wins this 100%. Thank you for your expert opinion, mate. Guys, the Serral is ahead by a lot. Nox has said it in the chat. Woo! I mean, at this point, I know my place in life again, guys. Those 500 minerals a minute, 300 gas. Thank you, matey. Honestly, I wasn't certain, but I'm so glad I've got you in my corner. Serral could win this, because he's Serral. But Serral needs another base. So far it is Max, who's got plenty of resources left to mine from in the bottom right. Obviously, Max actually has more resources left in the center of the map as well. Alright guys, and Nox says Max is about to GG in a minute or two. Alright. So guys, there you know it, pay attention, don't look away. Because according to Nox in Twitch chat, MaxPax is about to leave. I'm excited. I am pumped. Keeping an eye on the clock. Tempests are doing their thing. On a more serious note. Okay, the Viper gets sniped. Serral does land the fungal. This could be it. This could be the final fight. A couple of... Man, the Archons are not dying that quickly. Corrupt is definitely finding a really good angle, but they are taking a real beating. MaxPax starting to run a little bit low on gas. That is a real problem. Does still have an army in the bottom right side. A mothership, a couple stalkers. Has control of the center. Another pretty good fight by Serral, but they are so expensive. How many spellcasters live? No Vipers, 3 Infestus. What? Max kind of broke now as well, but Max has income. This Lurk, by the way, is actually doing God's work. I think we have to recall this army out, MaxPax, and that is exactly what he does. Serral has now taken control of his own corner base. I still think there are slightly more resources to mine for Max. Units lost resource tab. It is MaxPax for the first time in like forever, guys. And has lost more resources than Yona. That's also because he's been warping in a bunch of zealots. By the way, those Vipers that all the pros told us that we shouldn't believe in, they're useless. Those Vipers are looking pretty good this game, eh? I still don't know if it's going to be enough for Serral, but you cannot say that the Vipers did not have an impact. Because the Abducts have been good, the Parasitic Bombs have been real game changers. MaxPax takes... I don't think MaxPax really needs to be here, by the way. He needs to be very careful, because he still has plenty of resources to mine. Like, if you click on these gases, guys, that is 1800 gas, 1100 gas. MaxPax does not need to be here now with 160 supply. But he seems to be terrified about the thought of Serral really getting his hands on that base. But look at this. Like, this base is nowhere near saturated. 600 gas left here, but especially the center of the map has plenty of gas left for Max. He's nowhere near maxed out. If I was MaxPax, I'd take it a tiny bit slower. Get a few more Archons, because he's like somewhat zealot heavy now. So the 132 supply doesn't look that good. He is going to kill this Lurker this time. Serral is setting up for another engagement. It's only 14 Corruptors. Is 14 Corruptors enough? Can MaxPax land a couple of very big storms? So far it is Serral who gets a few of the High Templars. I am shocked, by the way, to see that this base is still not saturated. We need a revelation, Max. We are starting to reach that point where every unit does count. I like what MaxPax is doing now, just more Tempest. I'm also happy to see that he has kind of given up on the carriers. Then the carriers were just not really it. I think it's Archons, Storms, Tempest, and obviously the Mummy ship is good. Serral at least has used all this time to make sure that his units have regenerated. 30. I said earlier that I don't think it's going to be a 51-minute game, but honestly, even 35 minutes is very long for Amygdala. It's proper long. One of the gases in the bottom right has run out. This one only 166 left. These two are very important right now. There's 2200 gas. I think these have been mined out completely. Armies very close to each other. Time warp goes down. Oracle drops a stasis trap. The other one just died. Little stasis, not bad. The Tempest are looking for those big shots. Obviously, with this many Tempest, every single volley is a guaranteed kill on anything. Serral looking for his great opportunity. Storms are landing. Nice feedback on the Viper. I don't know if this fight is going to go as well as the other fights for Serral, but he is doing his thing. The Corruptor count is not that high anymore, though. I am mostly worried that Serral is running out of NTR. He's doing great with the Broodlords. Obviously, Lurkers will have an impact. I mean, 9 Corruptors. A lot of them survived there as they were very low on HP. Serral now loses a couple of the queens. Max is starting to add in Void Race. There are still 2 Infestors left. Oh, one more Fungal. Killing the Tempest here would be mega. Every single Tempest that Serral kills is mega. Fungal lands on 3 of them. 1 of them dies immediately. The Zealots are not doing a whole lot. As MaxPax now kites all the way back to his cannons. He cannot give up on this area. He needs the gas income. He's making Flux Veins. And Yona is a god, eh? 37 minutes in. And it's looking better than it's ever done for Serral. Now MaxPax has lost 6,000 resources more. The Void Rays revealed the Nexus dies, and that means that MaxPax now will only have long distance gas mining. A couple of Zealots are leading the charge. A single abduct. The Vipers, guys, they have made the difference. But here are the Void Rays. Prismatic alignment, but the Queens are still helping out. And with the Queens, the Voids die. And after 37 minutes, it is Serral who wins Amygdala. Wow. I cannot believe Yona wins games like this. And honestly, the Zergs who said that Vipers are useless, Vipers have no impact, Vipers don't do anything. I think the Vipers shined here. It didn't shine like it shined in the past, but it did absolutely shine. It's not as easy as just like making a bunch and standing there and abducting everything like one by one, and you'll never lose one, but without the Vipers, I don't think Serral wins this game. Nox was right. I think Nox said 2 minutes, and I think 8 minutes went by. So not quite mega accurate there, Nox. Sure, mate. Well, he said it at minute 31 and the game went on for 39, so it wasn't quite 2 minutes. That is a timeout, mate. That's stupid. Don't do that. I don't know why he didn't get the Plasma Shields upgrade. I do think with the amount of Archons he had, maybe he just kind of lost track of the game. Maybe it got a little bit too wild and too weird. I do think that you should get the Plasma Shields upgrade. I mean, Max felt incredibly good in the first 10-11 minutes. Had one little boo-boo on the bottom right side against that tiny Lurker army, where the Blinding Cloud messed him up. But outside of that, I feel like he played really good for a long time, until Serral jumped on his army and caught him once or twice. And at that point, it felt that the mistakes started adding up, where Serral made very few mistakes. And what Serral did so well is obviously taking fights, and often with 6, 7, 8 Corruptors that were all low on HP, he would disengage, he would save them. MaxPax missed quite a few opportunities in the later stages. It's mega hard, of course, to play 30, 40 minutes almost of high-level StarCraft and do everything right. Serral did a 10 out of 10 job in landing the Fungals, landing the Parabombs that I think were real game changers, and then often disengaging with a bunch of Corruptors, even if they're low on HP. If you wait and you don't fight and you get the HP back, it is big. I agree, Arax. Like maybe like the last 15 even. I think until Serral got the top left truly up and running, it felt that Max had a very clear game plan of what he wanted to do and how he thought he was going to win. Of course, should have saturated that bottom right side base a little bit better. I think there were moments where he should have been the one who had control of the center, but Serral just amazing. Amazing stuff out of the Finnish Phenom. And I think that Viper discussion is one that we can put to bed. Because without the Vipers, you don't win that game. I think we can all agree on that.
Round 2. Fight!
The bottom left side of El Dorado. It's only the upper bracket semi-final. It is the 4th time in 12 days that these two are playing against each other. And there is a chance that there is a 5th if they meet each other again in the grand final or in the lower bracket final. Or all of it is possible. This is PSISTORM Gaming's MaxPax. Yeah, I honestly, Freeman, like, it's weird, right? And I think we can't really say that as a statement because you cannot look into somebody's brain, but this is something that a lot of pros have spoken about in the past, that when people play against Serral, they have that fear because they know Yona is so good, they know he's so complete, and that if they have a plan, and the plan is like, I'm going to contain him on those 4 bases and I'm going to harass the center over and over again. And whatever I do is make sure he doesn't get the corner base. And then if eventually something goes wrong and they do get the corner base, like, well, that's it, now I'm toast. And it's like, I don't think he really was toast there, but it's almost like Serral is just so intimidating to face that the moment the game plan doesn't quite work anymore, and we start making a lot of mistakes and a lot of errors in a row. In the bottom right side of El Dorado, another stunning performance from the GOAT. He was in the chat earlier as well. He stopped by to casually roast me. I don't know what I did, but he had to sneak one in there. The thing is, we have a pizza party tonight with Basilisk, so I'll give him a hard time over that. Obviously, if he wins the series, otherwise I won't say anything. This is the Finnish Phenom, Basilisk Serral. The Magnus effect. I'm not a chess expert, even though I do follow it a little, and I have a couple chess friends, but I believe that that is the case, yeah. You like pizza? I love pizza. It's always fun to have a little Basilisk party, hang out with everybody. Sometimes we play some mini games. Sometimes we just yap. But I'm mostly just excited for pizza. Pizzas are goated. Basically deltas. See it as team building for an online company that is obviously, like, we all live in different places, so we don't get to see each other all the time. It's a good way for the players to also meet some people behind the scenes. And it's a good way to just catch up. How many people are likely to be at the pizza party? It's around like 12, give or take. It depends if everybody can make it. Some people can, some people cannot. But at the moment, the last few, it's basically a full screen of faces. Did Reynor play toss against Dark? Dark played toss against Reynor. Dark played Protoss 3 games and he lost all 3. Some PvPs and a PvZ. And Dark won 1 game with Zork against Reynor's Protoss. What is my task at Basilisk? You're looking at it, mate. This is my job. Cover the boys, make sure they're happy, and of course be a streamer. Like I am a streamer, not just for Basilisk, but streamers often partner up with orgs. So I stream, I schedule, I organize, I manage, I give great advice. Basically everything, man. Honestly, a little goated performance by me, if I may say so myself. Tiny Pills, a beam gets activated by Max and gets a single drone, but it is hard to find a lot of drones when you play against Yona. Sounds like an awesome job. I'm a very happy man. Basilisk is probably the best thing that happened to me when it comes to StarCraft over the last 3 years. A lot of things have been great. Obviously, I went to a couple great events, right? Going to Saudi Arabia a few times was awesome. Poland was always fantastic. But winning the WTL with Basilisk, it's been awesome. And also the opportunity to organize the big brain bouts every Friday night, make other nerds happy, give away prize money. It's all been great. It is a Twilight Council and a Forge on the side of Max. As the Overlord gets picked off in the main base, it is a Zealot charge. Okay. MaxPax not one to really do a whole lot of Zealot charge. Early Warp Prism as well. Serral has learned from some of those losses in the Masters Colosseum Grand Final against Hero, where he just overdroned a little bit. This time we see him making a bunch of drones, feeling that this is the right moment to go for it. And it's going to be Archons at first. Bit of a Christianer opening coming out of Max. What's the Oracle count? Just one. Mana's favorite opening. Ooh, no cancel. Small stuff, but don't want to do that too often against Serral. Every single mistake can be so punishing. Serral, by the way, is building a lot of units. There's a chance at this point that he continues to build units, and then it's going to be very hard for MaxPax to deal with it. Like right now, the scouting is more important than the damage that MaxPax will find here. And so far, I don't think Max has seen enough. Serral's even firing up Overlord speed, a Drop Alert. MaxPax needs to know that this is happening. What does he need to do? He needs Immortals, he needs Cannons, he needs Shield Batteries. You want to keep a healthy Prism as well, because that is so important. He's getting his first cannon. Where are we getting this cannon? In the main. Oh no. I mean, that's good against a little link drop, don't get me wrong. But he needs cannons over here. He needs cannons in this area. There you go. At this point, MaxPax is like, wait a minute. Those ain't safety roaches. That's all the roaches. Currently, Mortar count 1. Oh my god. How do you hold? I always look at this stuff and I'm like, how do you hold when you're down 60, 70 army supply? But that is where the Warp Prism will come in handy. Maybe some stasis traps can save the day. I do think that this looks very grim. Warp Prism Micro is going to have to be out of this world. I need another pylon here, by the way. Oh, that's a great force field. I don't even know where that came from the low ground. So far, so good on the side of Max. Max is doing this. I would love another pylon here, because this pylon is too important. We need another sentry here as well. He's going to get a sentry. A couple of the roaches make it through. We are going to drop a force field. That's enough roaches that the Immortal can actually kick off, or can the Immortal deal with. Nice pickups over here. One of the Archons does fall. The Warp Prism is still doing its thing, though, saving that Immortal as well. This is so far 10 out of 10 defense by MaxPax. I would even call it an 11 out of 10, as he continues to save every single Immortal. The Immortal count goes up. Stasis Trap's doing its thing. I could use maybe an energy recharge over here, but wow. MaxPax. Mate, out of this world. Is he there yet? No, he's not there yet, because a lot of the Archons are low on HP. And Serral is still building a lot of roaches. But the Immortal count has gone from 1 to 3. We have 4 Immortals now. That Archon gets saved. Again, gets picked up, gets dropped. The Immortals are mega important. Mate, someone built this Warp Prism a statue. Someone give this Prism a raise. Wow. Max not quite there yet, but he's almost there. This is gonna get harder and harder for Serral to get in range and not bleed out a lot of units. I cannot believe this defense. Holy smokes. Could the man have done anything more right? Maybe we could have saved one Archon. Maybe this pylon should have been built earlier. But what if it was bait? What if he wanted Serral to attack it? This is sick. He's still down 40 army supply, and the Ravager count is gonna go up, so it's still not totally over yet. You're still gonna have to micro. But after what MaxPax has displayed in the last 2-3 minutes, I'm not too worried about this. Oh, those are good corrosive bars on the side of Serral. By the way, this is annoying if all your units are here, because now Serral can rotate towards the third base, and you really don't want to lose the third. But Max is confident. He's going to wipe in 7 Zealots there. He's going to ship over those Immortals with the Prism. What do we got in the main? Seems like we had a tiny road drop, but a cannon and a Stalker dealt with that too. Serral is still up 30 supply, but this is now starting to look like it is MaxPax his world. What a hold. What a hold. That low ping video gaming is beautiful. Something I'll never get tired of. Doesn't matter if it's a Terran Zerg or a Protoss doing it. Cannon has 6 HP remaining. +2 on the way, Storm on the way. But now everywhere that Serral looks, there are Immortals. And the whole idea of this build of Serral is to kill him quickly. Now Serral does still have a monstrous army. Like, it's legit never over. This is where we enter Pies territory. And just when you think it's over as a Protoss, it is not over, because it's more roaches. Roaches are cheap. Zergs have Black Friday permanently 24/7. You buy one roach, you get 4 for free. So even if you're on 57 drones, you can still max out on roaches in no time. And the Ravager count, if it gets this high, it becomes really frustrating to micro against. So MaxPax has played like an absolute god, but until Storm is out and he's storming all these Ravagers, I don't think it is 100% over yet. He is forced to still micro pickups. I would love energy recharge, by the way. I think, no, he already used it. It's on cooldown. He used it somewhere. And +2 Immortals, don't mess around. They are good enough. We are 10 seconds away from Storm, but only one High Templar remains. But it is there. Serral is a 4 base Zerg. Got a 60 army supply lead, but I'm sorry, Lito, the supply does lie here. It is a 60 supply lead of mostly roaches and ravagers and a couple zerglings. Serral only has 3 queens. As long as MaxPax does not do anything silly with his army, he should be fine. He gets a couple big shots off. Corrosive balls do connect. Serral saves, or MaxPax saves the low HP units in the front. Nice storm. Serral even has Burrow, which will allow these roaches to regenerate some HP, but the Immortal count is so high. +2 Immortals and Storm and Archons and a Prism. The goated Prism. I've seen a lot of Great War Prisms in my days. This Prism deserves to retire. If MaxPax is a well-beloved, merciful leader to his Protoss units, he should build a Neil Prism. Send this one to the bottom left side, let it just chill. It's done its job. It's done battling. It has seen war, it has gone through it. Okay, that's a little bit early, Max. This whole lit has been going on for so long that MaxPax is a 3rd base and is natural. I pretty much mined out. Serral does obviously have a base, but this should always be MaxPax's game at this point. He has done everything right. I would like to see the kills on some of these Immortals. 7, 21, 12, 8, 21 kill Immortal. The guy at the top. Out of 10, so many kills, man. Serral has snuck a few roaches behind the 3rd base of MaxPax. But there is going to be a moment where Serral is going to be forced to take an impossible fight. Even if he's got a slightly bigger army. I mean, he does have +2 missile attacks now. How do you fight this with Roach Ravager, guys? A couple Overlords are rallied over the Protoss army. Serral has obviously been rallying everything non-stop for 6 minutes straight. That is one of the best holds that I have seen in a little while. An absolutely goated performance coming out of the Prince of Denmark. Once more showing us that when it comes to low ping gaming, his micro is as good as any. And now he can reap the benefits of his hard work. Because now we can just have fun with Immortals, with Archons, with Storm, +3. Serral is still going to be annoying. Has a couple of roaches with Burrow on the other side of the map. Wouldn't hate a few more High Templars, but Max is gonna land one sick fat Storm. The Immortals are a little bit naked, but the Immortals are so powerful. Now if Link show up as well, and that Archon dies, no extra roaches show up. Ooh, little bit painful on MaxPax's side, but this was not Max's entire army. Max still had these Archons, had these High Templars, has this Archon. Should have killed that Ravager. Made it a little bit harder there, guys, on himself than it had to be. But make no mistake, MaxPax is still in full control of this game. And not even the Finnish Phenom can defeat an army like this with roaches and Ravagers. Or can he? Or can he? No, the War Prism took damage. That Prism did not deserve to take any damage. Is it though? Guys, Yona has surprised me time and time again. And even in that last game, I would say he surprised me a little, because that looked incredibly difficult. But this is not even a thing anymore where it's like, well, if anyone can do it, it's Serral. I don't think anyone can do it. That's the point. But I'm sure he'd love to prove us wrong. But this is not a fair fight, guys. We're now sending a guy into the middle of nowhere to fight a dude with a machine gun, and he's got a spoon. Now, of course, you could maybe aim that spoon incredibly well, that it somehow jams the Uzi, but this is not a fair fight. A couple of crossbows do connect with observers, but MaxPax's army is simply too powerful. And Nikita said I could do it with my Zerg now. If anyone could do it, it's probably the guy that we are watching, but no one can do that one. Sick game though. What a hold, man. What a hold by MaxPax. It's absolutely extraordinary. Out of this world. War Prism Micro. Unit positioning. We're all tired. I need a break. Sorry, guys. I need a break. They're too good. I can't deal with this. I need to step away. It was a very long first game. A very action-packed second game. Game 3 coming up. I'll see you guys soon. I need to take a second. Spoon win? No. No spoon could win that. Shout out by to a Hellas 4 Heroes. I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Is that okay? All right. Alrighty. The score is 1-1. I need to update the score myself, matey. And I was AFK. My setup is great, but it's not that great that it can do the scores automatically. Round 3.
Round 3. Fight.
What a hold. I need a second, guys. What a hold. How do you do that? How do you do that? This boy is something else. The Prince of Denmark, PSISTORM Gaming's very own MaxPax. As we have loaded into ley lines. Great map. I think it's a very fair map. I like it. Big fan. Top right side of ley lines, we are looking at the main base of the Finnish Phenom, the Masters Colosseum champ, and he's gonna try to make January a fantastic month by going back to back in the Chinese online tournaments. This is Serral. Serral probably already said good luck in the lobby. Some of these guys, they just say it once. They don't want to go for the double. Hey, Roddy, congrats on Feyenoord yesterday beating Lambo's team. I had to send him a cheeky text. And I did. It was a great evening. But it's been a great afternoon as well. Guys, it's 4:30 and we still have another best of 5 after this. So, I mean, I've got till 7 p.m. I'm gonna assume that we're safe, but if we get 3 more 50-minute games between these two guys, then honestly, we're gonna cut it very close. I have not missed a single game of the entire main event of the Masters Colosseum and the LiuLi Cup. We were there for all the qualifiers as well. It's been a really fun 30 days of StarCraft or so. It's sad to miss one. I don't think that's going to happen. But definitely turning into a very memorable day of StarCraft already. That game between Skillers and Gumio on Neon Violet Square was mega too. This is fun stuff. If Serral focused on the buildings, would that have made any difference? I mean, in moments like that, there's obviously so many things that you can always do different. I think Max probably felt that he could have done 1 or 2 things different. And I think Serral could have done things different. Maybe Serral should have just not bothered with the natural. And it should have been an all-out assault on the 3rd and just shoved those units in. But yeah, in hindsight, everything is easier. I kind of liked what Serral did by creating 2 problems, splitting off units. That first force field came out of nowhere, right? That was a low ground sentry that somehow dropped the force field back to the high ground. Then Max was just in time to warp in a second sentry. I just think it's a 10 out of 10 hold. It's an 11 out of 10 hold if you guys want to use that metric. Do I know if Basilisk offers internship to get experience in casting, organizing? Definitely not in getting experience of casting, because I would be the only one, I guess, who could help you with that. But if you can always give it a shot. There is a comment, !Basilisk in the chat. There is a link to the Discord. In the Basilisk Discord, there is a lovely, beautiful man called Jeff. You can contact Jeff with any inquiries related to Basilisk. He is in charge of that kind of stuff. That is not my role. I have a lot of roles, but that's not one of them. I don't have time for that. Maybe if I stream less, I can eventually take on that sort of a role where I can handle the community too, but that's not my job. I think it's always worth trying. Maybe you'll find what you're looking for. Single Oracle into a quick Robo Twilight Council once more. So maybe MaxPax says, you know what? I won with that Archon opening. I won with Archon Zealot into an all-out assault from Roaches and Ravagers. Never change a winning team. That means that Bayern Munich is gonna have to exchange half their squad, you know what I mean? After that beating last night. But MaxPax did win. And he's gonna play the same thing for now. Followed you a long time, Roddy, and it's always a pleasure watching your stream. Great to see you, man. Thank you, matey. I appreciate that. Welcome. Or well, hello. I appreciate you answering my questions during casting. I like questions. As long as they're not silly and as long as people are respectful to the players. I really enjoy a mix of covering the games and talking to you guys and answering questions, whether it's about the game or the scene or anything. When it comes to tournaments, mate, we have 3 offline tournaments that we can really look forward to, and that's Home Story Cup, and the Stara Zagora Balam's Gem. But right now the scene is waiting for big news from either the Esports World Cup or ESL or both, because it's the same. And that should be coming real soon. But there will be at least 3 big international offline events happening in 2025. But hopefully a whole lot more. The Lings are going to jump on the Archons. Pulse Beam gets activated. Keeps the Archons safe for now. You want to try casting? Everyone can try casting. There really is like no license that you need. There's a lot of tournaments that are open to everybody. For instance, even our Monday night tournament that we are running. Community effort with the French guys and me and StatFest. If you guys send a request to StatFest or me, I'm sure you can drop into a couple of games. It's just very hard. A lot of people, they want to try casting, but it's incredibly hard to get a viewership going. Ooh, War Prism is low. 1 Archon dies. I mean, it's 3 drones dying, but an Archon dying is a big deal. So a lot of people show up for 1, 2, 3 weeklies and then they kind of give up. But technically, everybody can cast. You can always upload your games on YouTube as well. It is hard to get an audience for anyone. But no one is going to stop you from trying to cast a couple game pieces. And if it's something that you think is fun, if you just want to give it a shot, like who cares about the success? Just do it because of the challenge. Try to make yourself proud. Give yourself something new to get excited over. Take it from there. A second Robo, guys. The second Robo gets warped in on the side of MaxPax. We have a Neil Kachi. Serral is going down the same route as before. It's a little bit different because this time we do have +1 melee, but Serral again is going to be very aggressive. MaxPax already pulled off a close to miraculous hold on Eldorado. I almost want to say that this one looks more doable to me because we've got 2 Immortals out instead of 1. The War Prism did take a bit of damage, and this is a problem. Where is this War Prism right now? We really need this Prism at home. The Zealots are going to get on top of the 4th base. Honestly, MaxPax looks way better set up than in the previous game. And he held in the previous game. Even Storm is almost done. I'm not exactly certain why Serral has gone for this, why he feels like this is the way. This time we're a bit more Ravager heavy in the beginning. All the Queens are here in the mix as well, but I really do believe in MaxPax's chances, even if he's down 60 supply. We know that he micros like the very best of them. Ooh, he morphed these 2 High Templars guys into an Archon 7 seconds before Storm. Can Serral find a way to break the Prince of Denmark as he gets the 2 cannons rather quickly, but the Immortal count is so high. Now Immortals don't want to shoot at Queens, they don't want to shoot at Lynx. Oh, what a stasis trap, and there's the Storm. Energy recharge probably got used. MaxPax is 10 or so seconds away from having a few more Storms. There are Roaches and Ravagers everywhere we look. Serral is finding economic damage, but the Immortal count is still looking pretty. The Archons are healthy. I don't know if Serral can do it. Got extra units coming in. Stasis Trap is about to unfree some of the units. MaxPax misses 1 pickup, misses another pickup. Is it good enough this time then for Serral? As the Immortals, 4 Immortals come in from the top left. These units are so low. We warp in a couple of Zealots. This is sick, man. These two guys are absolutely sick. And the Prism continued to save every single Immortal. Does not save that one. Where is that moment for those Immortals to shine? The Archon dies. Another Immortal falls. More Immortals come out as it's double Robo. Double Robo. Is it as good as a double Rainbow? 38 probes have died as there are links with +1 melee that have killed all the workers in the natural. And this time it is good enough. By the looks of it, this time it is good enough. How? What? Why? Lord knows. MaxPax missed a couple of pickoffs. +1 melee link sneaking into the natural was big. MaxPax morphed a few High Templars that were so close to Storm into an Archon right before all the good stuff happened. The final bit of Warp Prism Micro is excellent, but I'm afraid it's too late for Max this time. I really am afraid that it is too late. The GG gets called. Serral takes the 2-1 lead. And it felt that MaxPax had a better setup than in the previous game. It is never easy. I was very surprised that he morphed. These two High Templars didn't have that much energy, but it's like so close before Storm. And he just felt he needed that extra Archon. Man. Queens had a lot of energy. That really helped. I think this time when the fighting started, the Ravager count was a lot higher. And Immortals, obviously, they love shooting at roaches because that's where they deal that 50+ damage per shot. Against Queens and Ravagers, it's a bit less impressive. The War Prism had to cover slightly more area here because the third base is a bit further away than El Dorado, right? El Dorado, it was legit everywhere where it always needed to be. Here, clearly, once or twice, the Prism was a split second too late. Serral did a great job in actually just gunning down those cannons to make sure that that reliable DPS all the time wasn't there. Felt like the batteries didn't have much of an impact. Great execution by Serral. Honestly, very well done. Hello, Pistola. There is indeed no ramp. Obviously, last game there's no ramp on the well. There's technically another ramp, right? If you think of El Dorado, where MaxPax later on took the 4th, that is a bit of a ramp. And then if you really want to go into the natural, yeah, there's a proper ramp that you have to go up, and you have to worry about high ground vision. But with Overlords there, that's not too big of an issue. But it is obviously always hard to get up a ramp. And Serral this time did not try to sneak any of those roaches into the natural, which last game I really did think was a good move. It's just that MaxPax had a great reaction to it with that force field from the low ground and then the Neil Sentry that allowed that one Immortal to kill like 8, 9, 10 roaches by itself. This time Serral made them certain to keep all the units closer together, and there's a lot of burst damage coming out of those Ravages and roaches. Yeah, the force fields by Max on El Dorado were so good. And this time there were no great force fields to drop because Serral stayed in the wide open area. Awesome. Game 4.
Round 4. Fight.
Here we go. Ultra Love in the bottom left side. The double Robo, and all the Immortals could not save him there on ley lines. It is a PSISTORM Gaming's very own MaxPax. Also felt last game we had more stasis traps, no? There were quite a few stasis traps throughout that entire battle that kept on happening. And this time it did not feel like we had anywhere near as many or as impactful stasis trappies. Top right side of Ultra Love, one map away from making it to the upper bracket final. Masters Colosseum, he had to go all the way through the lower bracket. Now he's one map away from the upper bracket final. This also meant, by the way, that he has taken the lead in maps when it comes to their head-to-head. As it is now 9-8 in favor of this man across the last 2 weeks. The Finnish Phenom, Serral. Max obviously lost an Archon, by the way. We did mention that, we showed it. Obviously he lost an Archon in the main. Perhaps that made a really big difference, right? Imagine that Archon gets picked up 10 HP, goes home, shield battery heals it up. You've got another full HP Archon that can tank some shots and can deal some damage. And get juggled by that Prism to continue to stay alive. In these kinds of scenarios, every unit is really, really important. How do you lose with 5-6 Immortals with Roach Ravager? Well, because Ravagers are good against Immortals. And Queens are good against Immortals. That's why. And also, there were around 27 Ravagers and Queens for every single Immortal there was. It's not like there's an army of Immortals and an army of Ravagers looking at each other head to head. It's like, alright, wanna fight? No, hands off the keyboard. It's a little more complex than that. Shout out to Music Von for the Twitch Prime. I appreciate it, champ. Whew. So tomorrow we have 2 games in the lower bracket. We've got Skilless versus the loser of this series. And then we've got Reynor versus the loser of Clam Hero. That's a pretty good day too, even if it's a shorter day. It is a really good day. I can absolutely echo that sentiment, Fledgen, if I pronounce your name correctly, which I'm sure I didn't. But just know that I tried. It's obviously super cool to see the guys like Serral, Max, Reynor, Clam, etc. play against the Koreans, but you do notice that there is ping, right? Like whether it's US West, US Central, you see it. And certain things that we absolutely know they're capable of pulling off, they cannot quite pull off when you're playing cross-server. But when you're looking 2 at the very best that are both in Europe playing on the European server, or 2 of the best Koreans that are both in Korea on the Korean server, it just feels like it adds that extra 5 or 10% of greatness to their games that makes it so much more exciting. Max is gonna switch it up. It is double Oracle this time. Last game it was single Oracle. Into that quick. Oh, I can drop once more. Oh, triple Oracle. This is the style that the Reynor thought kind of fell out of fashion a little bit. Because I think Lambo also mentioned this maybe in his video. The Giga Spore, as they call it. Less HP, but way more damage. Makes it a bit harder for this opening to truly shine. Whew. Turning into a exhausting day of action. Max is like, wait a minute, that's a single queen. That's a little far forward. Activates Pulse of him, gets the queen, and gets the Sport Crawler as well. Excuse me, the Crypto one. Man, I'm losing it. These games have just been nuts, guys, and they really take no breaks. The third best of 5. Some very long games. This is a great little run by Serral. Single adept is not good enough. Keep that pylon alive. 3 more gates on the way. Twilight and Forge not showing us anything yet. Even more gay-based. Blink Stalker then. Triple Oracle Blink Stalker. Ooh, we're losing probes. Max. 5 more workers go down to just a couple Zerglings. Ay caramba. Especially if we're playing triple Oracle, guys. That is not supposed to happen. That's not clean enough. Against Serral, we need to be mega clean. And what Serral has done incredibly well with this Link activity is obviously forcing the Oracles to stay at home, right? Forcing the Oracles to use Pulsar Beam here. That also means that Serral is just not in danger of losing any workers. 65 drones for the Finnish Phenom, who is 1 map away from making it to the upper bracket final. Can he do this? Starting to me at least looks like a game where maybe MaxPax even gets a pylon and a gateway on the other side of the map, and we're just sending it with a lot of stalkers. But right now it seems very hard to even get a probe to the other side of the map. That big stalker warp in is obviously everything that Serral was looking for. Max will warp in a Templar Archives. Gets another pylon. Do we have gases here already? So 6 gas setup. A lot of stalkers. With Blink and Storm, Triple Oracle. Seems unlikely that Roach Hydra can get a lot done here, but it's Serral. Nothing is impossible with Serral. This is definitely the kind of game where if you're MaxPax, you want to start Storm immediately. You want to start Chrono Boosting Storm immediately, because that is incredibly important. I don't think Ay caramba is an old Dutch expression. I feel like it's more Spanish, no? Ay caramba. This is a great little attack by Serral. It's not much, but it's just enough links to be really annoying. I'm not sure about that single Zealot Warp in. Max, I think we have to Rico here, mate. I think you have to take this serious. MaxPax does not want to Rico, wants to continue trading with the Stalkers. But he's already lost a decent amount of workers in this game, and he will now continue to lose even more. The Oracles are going to try to keep him safe. There are some stasis traps here, but Serral is really taking control of Game 4. Everything that Serral has done so far in this game is working out, and the triple Oracle of Max has absolutely not given him the map presence and the control of this game that he was looking for. It's a little chaotic right now. No probes on these gases anymore. Storm is almost done. 0 High Templars. Hydra's already here. Whew. I think Max is in serious trouble. So we've already seen one absolutely insane hold. Perhaps there's a second one, but you need Storm to deal with these Hydras. Stalkers alone are not going to cut it. A lot of the static defense is not quite done yet. Serral even drops a corrosive ball to deal with that stasis trap. Max in trouble. And now he has to do what is more difficult than anything, and that is micro stalkers on 2 different sides of your screen. One on the top left, one in the bottom right. Probes are dying. A stasis trap in the middle of nowhere is going to try to keep some of the units busy, but Serral activates it with just a single roach. Max blinks back to the high ground, but it seems that this final game is really all Serral. Or can the Stalkers somehow find a way to micro their way out of all this trouble? It seems impossible. This Nexus is low on HP. The probes will get full, but that's not good enough. The Nexus falls, still no Storm. We invested the Templar Archives. We invested in Storm, but we never got a single Storm. And just like that, it is the Roaches, Hydras, and Lynx of Serral that make the difference, and Serral advances into the upper bracket final, 3-1. Takes the map score lead over MaxPax with all their series in the last 2 weeks. Now Serral has won 2 series, MaxPax has lost 2 series, but Serral definitely winning the more important ones, and also ending with 10 map wins. MaxPax is now at 8. Might not be the last time that you guys see them battle this week. There is a good chance that they'll do it one last time on the lower bracket or grand finals of the LiuLi Cup. But we're not there yet. And there's a lot of great other players out there. But it is possible. Hello, Coco. Roaches and Hydras. The great rivalry is always welcome. I think it is turning into a great one already. I love it, and sure, it's a lot of MaxPax Serral in a very short amount of time, but there's also a chance that if they play again, or maybe this one even, is the last time that you'll see them play against each other in a while. Because Serral doesn't play in a lot of the online cups that MaxPax plays in. So I wouldn't know where they would play anytime soon. So don't take them for granted. Don't get bored of it quite yet, and hope that we get to see it one more time. I mean, they're now tied up in series 2 and 2. I'd love to see it one last time, but I don't know where that would happen. 65% for Serral is what it was in the end. Nobody's giving points away today. And the Serral believers get rewarded. Complete prediction. One last best of 5, guys. It is it is Hero versus Clem. Best of 5, upper bracket. Semifinals. This also means, by the way, that MaxPax will play against Skillers in the lower bracket. That's a fun best of 5 to look forward to tomorrow. A little bit of European PvP. Hero, the Korean Protoss, or Clem, the French Terran, and the world champ, baby. Give it 15 minutes. This time, we give points. Third option, guys, if you don't want to win, if you just want to put random channel points on the line, you can go for number 3. If you want to predict the winner, or you want to win, go for Hero or Clem. Start prediction. I'll go take one more little break. It's been an amazing day of games. I've had a lot of fun. I think we saw some absolutely fantastic stuff. And let's hope that Hero and Clem will also give us some fireworks. Hero took down Gumio in the quarterfinals in some really fun games, but it was a bit messy, it was a bit sloppy from time to time. He's gonna have to clean it up a bit if he wants to take out the world champ that is Clem, who obviously took out his teammate Skillers yesterday in the quarterfinals. So they both won in this respective matchup, Earlier we had the two guys that lost in this respective matchup, and that one the Protoss won. Who wins between the winners? We're about to find out. Thank you, Baumann Wasser. We're getting more and more Baumanns in here. I don't know what this means, but I welcome you guys. I'll take a couple minutes, guys. By the time that I come back, it is Hero versus Clem. See you guys soon.